Welcome to Retirement Key Radio with Abe Abish.
We will address taxes and retirement and the recent market volatility, what that means to you if you're near retirement or already there. But something we've never addressed here on the radio, Abe, is growing up as a kid, were people giving you a hard time because they didn't know how to say your last name?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I remember coming home on the school bus at 5 years old crying to my mom that kids had mispronounced our last name. It's Abish.
Oh, I could see a whole other joke there. Never mind. Okay, sorry.
Exactly.
I would never do that to you, friend. You know, we're all adapting to the current changes as best we can. And I say current changes because they seem to change all the time. But with the huge stimulus that the government has thrown our way, we may have to also adapt to changes in our future taxes. And this is billionaire investor Leon Cooperman on CNBC talking about that.
Capitalism as we know it will likely be changed forever. When the government is called upon to protect you on the downside, they have every right to regulate the upside. Taxes have to go up. Quickly if Biden wins, slowly if Trump wins, but taxes have to go up. So things like carried interest, capital gains taxes, the ability to roll over real estate sales tax-free, all that stuff is going to have to be eliminated.
I think we should address taxes head on. And unfortunately, I think a lot of financial professionals like to take the easy route and they kind of push the tax conversation under the rug and they don't address taxes. But you know what? Taxes are our biggest expense in retirement. So how can we ignore it? And so for the last, I would say 12 years, we've been preaching at different workshops and classes that taxes, that federal income taxes almost have to go up because back then, the national debt was high. Today, it's crossed over $23 trillion, not including all this additional stimulus money that was just pumped into the system to basically rescue the country and the economy, right? So what the gentleman was saying there is, hey, someone's got to pay for it and things have got to change. And if the government's saving us from this economic disaster, then they got to get their money back some way, right?
That's right. And they don't go take out second jobs like the rest of us do when we had a hard time.
Right.
They just come to us and raise tax rates.
Right. So imagine the national debt was like you having credit cards that were just maxed out and they were ballooning and, you know, Christian, they were getting out of control. On top of that, let's say the interest rates were rising and you at one point might just say, you know what, Abe, I can't afford this anymore. I'm going to declare bankruptcy and I'm just going to forget about this stuff. Well, I don't know that will happen with the $23 trillion plus that the federal government has. But one way to really tackle that debt or help to tackle that debt is to raise taxes, to create revenue, to pay down the debt. And so today we're at really low fair tax rates in our opinions. You know, most people are at the 12, 22 and 24% tax rates, and some are higher, but we feel that's very fair. You know, you're keeping 75 to 80 cents of every dollar that you make and bring in retirement when it comes to your Social Security, your annuities, your investment incomes, your RMDs. You know, if you're keeping 75 to 80 cents of every dollar you bring in our opinions, that's a good deal. But what if taxes go up and federal taxes go up to 30%, 35, 40%? You know, in the 40s and 50s, the highest federal income tax rates, like the highest bracket, was over 90%. And so perhaps they don't go back up that high. You know, we had world wars and other things going on at that time, but they could easily go up from where they are. And we can't control that. But we can control how we invest and save. We can control how we plan. And so we're not CPAs and accountants. We're not going to help our clients put together tax returns. Where we're going to help them is looking at their taxes on their retirement accounts and how taxes will play an impact on their lives when it comes to the retirement accounts. So we'll put all of their income sources, Kristen, into tax planning software. And we'll see exactly where they are in the federal tax bracket that they're in. And then we'll find out, okay, well, in the bracket you're in, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you have $50,000 left before you cross over and up into the next bracket. Or you have $100,000 left, or maybe only $20,000. Well, if that's the case for you, the government's telling you you can make and bring in that much more income and still stay in the same tax bracket. And if you believe taxes are fair where they are right now, then perhaps now is a great time, perhaps the best time in your life, to consider something like a Roth conversion, where you say, you know what, I'm going to pay some of my fair share now when it comes to tax, and I'm going to withdraw this money out, pay taxes on it, convert it into a Roth IRA, have paid my fair share now so that I won't have to pay taxes down the road, and we'll have eliminated RMDs as well. And so you're not spending the money, you're simply converting and moving from funds from one bucket to another bucket to take advantage of where taxes are today.
You know, something you've also mentioned before, Abe, around the office and even here on the show in the past is that there are certain types of strategies and options out there that, when done properly in the right situation, some people are able to retire at a 0% effective tax rate.
It's possible. It's possible. And if it's not zero, look, we have the opportunity to control what we can control and try to get our taxable situation down as low as possible. No one said we're going to avoid taxes,
No.
But we don't want to pay more than our fair share,
Correct.
right? We want to pay our fair share and not a penny more. So look, we all know what the tax code is right now. We know where we are in the brackets. Let's potentially take advantage of that. Now, if you don't think taxes are going to be higher down the road than they are today, then you'll never do a Roth conversion. You would never be proactive enough to say, I'm going to convert monies out into a Roth now and pay my fair share, because you believe taxes will be the same as they are today or lower, and it wouldn't make sense to do something like a Roth conversion, right? Because you believe that taxes will be lower in retirement than they are today. But if you're like us and you believe that taxes almost only have to go up, then man, we really need to look at this now, because through 2025, the next 5 years, if things stay the way they are now, we have 5 years to get as much money out of our pre-tax dollars, our TSPs, 401ks and IRAs, into Roth IRAs, where we've paid our fair share now forever, and all the money can grow tax deferred and free of tax for the rest of your life.
Find out more at retirementkeyradio.com.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abraham Abish, NPM number 770-3575.